Darren Waller is not expected to play this Sunday against his former team, the Las Vegas Raiders, and it sounds like he could be out for a couple of weeks. So we're going to break down that report, and we've also got some injury news to talk about that comes around Daniel Jones, Andrew Thomas, Saquon Barkley, as well as Evan Neal. Then on the tail end of the show, we're going to talk about Kayvon Thibodeaux a little bit because, man, oh, man, he has been playing out of his mind. Darren Waller not expected to play and could miss a couple of weeks. We'll get to his quotes from today's media availability, but look, we all knew this was somewhat going to come at some point. Look, hurt players stay hurt, and that's what Darren Waller has been throughout the last couple of years. He missed 9 games, I believe, last year with the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think he missed 6 games, something along those lines, the prior year. Look, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. He had a run of good luck with the Giants. But we always knew this was going to be an option or a kind of a pathway that they could go down with as Waller, as his tenure with the Giants continues to grow. He was asked about his hamstring at practice today, and the question said, you've dealt with these in the past and probably came back too soon. How much does that make you cautious about when you do finally return? Waller said, the main reason I missed 8 games last year was because trying to come back in 2 and re-aggravating it 2 or 3 times in practice where nobody could really see it. So it's where is this guy? Taking a little bit more of an approach and saying, why not 4 weeks or just 3 weeks or whatever it is and use that time efficiently and not try to be the hero and come back. Just be stressing and pushing when it's I've got to take care of my body first. Other quotes from that article or from that media portion, they asked him, was it the same injury that he has been dealing with since he joined the Giants? And he said, it's a different injury than last year. Said it's his right leg compared to left leg. And he said, usually it's always high by my butt, proximal hamstring. So a different injury than last year. But once again, a hurt hamstring for Waller. And hurt players stay hurt. Look, the best ability sometimes is availability, and right now he's not available, and he has not been available prior to this year for 2 years in a row for the Las Vegas Raiders. But you know what it is? It's next man up. Daniel Bellinger, you got to step in, and you got to produce as the starting tight end for this football team, and he did it all last year. While not having Waller is definitely going to hamper this offense a little bit, it's not like we're turning to somebody that we don't have trust in. Everybody loves Daniel Bellinger. Everybody believes in him. He's not number 12, but he's still a damn good football player, and I'm excited to see him play some football this weekend against the Raiders. If we get any new information about Waller or anybody, we're going to be getting you guys a video as soon as possible. So subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, and keep us on the docket to keep you in the loop. Brian Daboll was also asked about Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas, his 2 bookend tackles, and said they both have a chance to play. Andrew Thomas has not played since week 1, and Evan Neal has missed now 2 games in a row. So they need to get back healthy. Look, you're putting Daniel Jones back there, coming back from a neck injury. I'm sure he'd like to have his all-pro left tackle and a top 7 pick at the right tackle position. But more importantly, getting Andrew Thomas back would be huge for this offense. Outside of Saquon Barkley, I think you could even include Saquon Barkley in this. I think Andrew Thomas is the best football player on this team, and it's been pretty apparent that when he's not in the game, this offense can't run at the same pace and do the same things that they want to do. They need him out there. You paid him all that money. You drafted him top 5. You need him out there. He hasn't been, and the results have showed why he is so important and the best player on this team. Daniel Jones, on the bright side, was a full go at practice today for the New York Giants with no limitations. So he is going to play this Sunday against the Raiders. First time in 3 weeks, Daniel Jones will be back under center. And Tyrod Taylor, who left the game this past Sunday with a rib cage injury, did not practice. And it does not sound like he is going to, and it sounds like he will be out this week and not going to play, which means Tommy DeVito is the only other player on this active roster at the quarterback position outside of Daniel Jones. So is Tommy DeVito going to be QB2? Well, I think he will be, but I also think Matt Barkley, who you signed to your practice squad just yesterday, could be a game day call-up. You could have 3 active quarterbacks for the New York Giants this Sunday. I'll continue to say it. I don't know if the Giants just didn't trust Tommy DeVito, and I don't really want to buy into Brian Daboll's belief or what he said that the Giants were always going to run the ball that much versus the Jets. My thing is this. Don't have a backup quarterback on this team if you don't trust him to throw the football. That's why they went out and signed Matt Barkley. So I want to ask you this question. Who do you want to be the backup quarterback for the Giants? Is it Tommy, Don Bosco Prep DeVito, or is it Matt Barkley? Type TD or MB. We're going to talk about the rest of the Giants injury report, and we'll also touch on Kayvon Thibodeaux coming up in a second. But first, I got to tell you guys about our proud sponsor of today's show, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the promo code CLNS, and Prize Picks is going to hook you guys up with a $100 deposit match. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on the stat totals that Prize Picks has to offer. I'm going with more passing yards for Patrick Mahomes this week against the Dolphins. I think it's going to be a shootout. I'm going with less passing yards for Jordan Love. The Packers are a bad football team right now, especially on offense. I like this one. Taysom Hill, more than half a passing yard. You can roll with my picks, fade my picks, or make picks of your own. Just do it with the best in the business. That is Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. The best way to play. Win real money. Be able to withdraw it out of your account. Awesome, awesome app. You guys are going to love it. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS. You get a look at who else was limited at practice today for the New York Giants. Saquon Barkley. I think this was kind of just a rest day for him. I don't think he re-aggravated that ankle injury. I think, look, the guy's had almost 80 touches in the past 3 weeks. I think the Giants are just being smart and cautious with him. See Wan'Dale Robinson, similar situation, still been barely over a year since he tore his ACL, and he's kind of been getting limited participation at practice throughout the week so far this year. Kayvon Thibodeaux, a back injury. Haven't heard much about that. I don't expect it to be all that serious. Graham Gano dealing with that left knee injury. I'll say this much. If you're hurt, don't play. But he's limited at practice, and I expect Graham Gano to be out there despite missing 2 kicks last week. Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas could play. I would say still 50-50, though, on those 2 guys. I want to talk a little bit about what Kayvon Thibodeaux has been able to do, because we've answered questions on the show about, is he a bust? And while I never thought he was a bust, I did start to question what his ceiling as a player would be. My questions kind of were answered against the New York Jets. I know he played up against a beat-up backup offensive line, but, man, he absolutely took over that game. And you look at what he's done so far through 8 games this season. Guy's got 25 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks. That's top 5 in the National Football League. He's got 10 QB hits and 24 pressures. He's been absolutely dominant. Should have had the game-winning sack last week, and it showed on video that he actually did not jump off sides. It was a bad call by the referee. What do you know? That's what's the life of being a New York Giant fan. I will say this, though. With the Raiders starting rookie quarterback Aiden O'Connell, behind an offensive line that has allowed 22 sacks this year, the Giants need number 5 and number 97 to absolutely be on fire. They need to be game wreckers if they want to win this game. The Raiders' offense is not good. They're starting a quarterback that's not very good, Aiden O'Connell. Their offensive line's not very good. Allowed 22 sacks this year. Number 5 and number 97. I already missed saying number 99. 5 and 97. They need to show up and they need to show out. Also, the Raiders' rush defense, one of the worst in the NFL. Actually, the 3rd worst unit in this league. They allow 140 yards per game on the ground. Sunday is going to be a Saquon Barkley day. I feel pretty confident in that. I think the Giants are once again going to lean on 26 to try to be the engine to this offense. And like they should. He's the best playmaker on this team. They need to give him the ball early and often, and I think that is going to be a thing. So you might want to be looking at Prize Picks to take the more on Saquon Barkley. Touches as well as yards. I think he's going to have a big game. I could see 2-6 dancing in the end zone a couple of times against the Raiders. Who do you got, though, in this ball game? Before we bounce on out of here, I want to know. Who do you got? You think the Raiders are going to win with their brand new head coach, former Giant Antonio Pierce? He said he's always been a Raider. That kind of hurt me a little bit as a guy that was a key piece in a Giants defense that won a Super Bowl. Who do you got, though? You know this team's going to be fired up. Anytime you fire your coach, that team's ready to go win some football games. NYGLV, who's going to win this game? As always, you can give me a follow over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with a video tomorrow, so subscribe to the channel.